What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another Pitching Ninja's filthiest pitches of the day. Remember, before we get to those pitches, hit that subscribe button. Be a part of the biggest and best daily baseball show on YouTube. And now, without further ado, here are my filthiest pitches of the day. I'm going to start with Zach Eflin, who had 6 Ks in 4 2/3 innings, giving up 4 runs. He had these wicked curveballs, these cutters, including this one at the knees. He started off this game with 4 scoreless innings, but then faded in the 5th. He faced off against James Caprillion, who had these fastballs and sliders, and 4 Ks in 6 innings, giving up 3 runs. Zach Greinke had 4 Ks in 5 innings, giving up 3 runs. He had these 90-mile-an-hour heaters, this changeup at 87 miles an hour, and here's an overlay of his 89-mile-an-hour fastball and 87-mile-an-hour changeup, and you can see even though the velo difference isn't that much, the movement difference is significant. Greinke also had this really nice 69-mile-an-hour curveball. He faced Luke Weaver, who had 3 Ks in 4 1/3 innings, giving up 3 runs. He had this painted fastball and this cutter. Dane Dunning had 3 Ks in 5 innings, giving up 4 runs, and had these sliders. He faced Tyler Anderson, who had 7 Ks in 6 innings, but gave up 5 earned runs. He had this changeup and cutter. Tommy Henry had 6 Ks in 4 2/3 innings, gave up 5 earned runs, and had this changeup. Logan Webb had 6 Ks in 7 innings, giving up 3 runs. He had these changeups, and then this sequence against Goldschmidt. Can I help you find anything, Mr. Goldschmidt? No thanks, I'm just looking. Webb faced Matthew Liberatore, who had 5 Ks in 6 innings, giving up 2 earned runs. He had this elevated curveball and this absolutely gorgeous curveball. Liberatore's curveball is really pretty. And he also got a K on this elevated fastball. Bryce Miller had 6 Ks in 6 innings and was back on track after a couple of really crappy outings. He relied on his high spin rate fastballs. His fastball spin rate topped out at 2,811 RPMs and had this nasty slider. I spoke to Miller about how he gets his fastball spin rate so high, and he showed me the callus he gets on his fingers from the friction of the ball running off it.
I don't know if you can see the inside of my finger right here.
Uh-huh.
Usually I get a little callus or my nail digs in there, and I think it's mainly from the fastball just coming right off that lace, but I'm kind of pulling down on that lace.
Miller outdueled Jesus Luzardo, the Jesus Lizard, who had 3 Ks in 4 innings but gave up 5 earned runs and had this fastball and back foot slider. Jamese Paxton, the Big Maple, had 8 Ks in 6 innings, giving up no earned runs on only 4 hits. He dominated with his fastballs, his cutters, and his knuckle curves, and even got a sword on his changeup. And here's an overlay of Paxton's fastball and knuckle curve, and you can really see how those pitches tunnel well, but then that knuckle curve disappears. Paxton faced Connor Siebold, who had 6 Ks in 6 innings, giving up only 1 run, thanks to his fastballs and sliders. My filthiest starter of the day yesterday was Charlie Effin Morton. Morton had 8 Ks in 5 2/3 innings, giving up no runs and only 4 hits. He relied on his buzzsaw curveball and got 12 whiffs on that curveball in only 23 swings. Absolute hammers. Here's a curveball with 3,141 RPMs, and his spin rate on that curveball was up to 3,260 RPMs this game. He also mixed in some changeups and fastballs, as well as some cutters. And this overlay shows perfectly why that fastball and cutter combination can be really tough on hitters. Look how well these things tunnel, absolutely perfectly on the way to the plate, and then that cutter veers off just as you're ready to swing. Every hit is a minor miracle. In college baseball, my filthiest starter was Drew Beam for these wicked breaking balls. He ended up with 7 Ks in 6 innings, giving up no runs. Now on to my filthiest relievers. Sam Bachman had this nasty slider. Buck Farmer had this slider. A.J. Minter had this fastball and changeup. Jeff Hoffman had this nasty slider and splitter. Carlos Estevez had these heaters. Will Smith had this wicked slider. Kevin Kelly had this painted sweeper that broke 16 inches. Aroldis Chapman had this absolute diesel up to 101 miles an hour. My best effort from a reliever in the major leagues yesterday was from Ken Waldichuk, who had these changeups, fastballs, and sliders and 5 Ks in 3 innings. Ricky Karcher had maybe the most amazing relief appearance yesterday. Look at this. The balls are going all over the place. Phrasing ninja. But my man ends up pulling out the save. This is Karcher's first career appearance. And it's in extra innings with a 1-run lead. And if he has much more of these, he's going to drive an entire fan base to drink. Which could be a feature and not a bug. Because again, hey, he picked up the save. And it was quite entertaining. What a debut by Karcher. My most electric relief appearance yesterday, without a doubt, was Chase Burns for Tennessee. He helped Tennessee advance to the College World Series and did it in spectacular fashion. Check out this all-time great reaction after blowing a hitter away with a 102-mile-an-hour heater. With a name like Chase Burns, he is meant to be a pitcher, and with this reaction, he is an absolute electric factory. Who needs your morning coffee when you can watch this? My man is a cocktail of Monster Energy drink and smelling salts. Inject this straight into my veins. Go on with yourself, young king.
Dong of the Week. That's right. Welcome back to Dong of the Week, the one part of the Pitching Ninja show where hitters don't look like complete jackasses.
And never mind, we're going to start off with a pitcher here. Shohei Ohtani jacks this ball 459 and then pimps it like Fernando Tatis Jr. in a AAA game. But Shohei wasn't done. He actually, here in the 12th inning, essentially hits the game-winning home run. And just an epic display of jacks by Shohei. Next, we're going over to the set of Point Break in the 50-year Storm, where Ryan McMahon hits this ball, ties it up in the bottom of the 9th, gets good wood on it, and then right after this, the game was postponed forever. And then they come back, and Nolan Jones ends the game with this 472-foot walk-off. The longest walk-off home run in the StatCast era. This is only like his 100th career at bat, by the way. But this is not the long dong of the week. The long dong of the week goes right back to Nolan Jones for this 483-foot plunk. Might there be a very small asterisk next to these double dongs from Jones because they took place at Coors Field? No. And that's your dong of the week.
And now, my Pitching Ninja moment of zen. He thought that Albies might be out here because he was tagged on his helmet, except for the fact his helmet wasn't on his head.
Well, his helmet was coming off. I was wondering if he got the helmet instead of the body.
It did look like that.
He hit the helmet, and that bounced off of Ozzie.
After review, the call on the field is overturned. The runner is safe.
What is up, everybody? My picks of the day today are a 3-leg parlay. I'm going to start out with Hunter Brown for 6 Ks or more, then take Jack Flaherty for 6 Ks or more, and top it off with Corbin Burns for 7 Ks or more. What would your picks of the day be?